natural response. So it's like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just eventually, you know, eventually if you keep doing it, eventually it's gonna kind of bottle up all inside you, and and then you will have to deal with it, and it's gonna be a lot less fun that way. Right then. But you know, we kind of, whenever somebody does something like that, it's like we just keep shutting down and not sharing with, you know, with anybody, because we start realizing that it's like, oh, whenever I shared with this person who I thought was really close with me, then they shut down whatever I said. Then it's like, oh, okay, well, if I can't trust my closest friend, then I can't trust anybody, you know. And we keep doing that, and we actually end up hurting ourselves in the long run, because like, you know, you just, if you keep doing that, you keep bottling everything inside, you're never like, because like you were saying, all it takes is you talking about whatever it was that bothers you, and then you feel better about it, you know. And it's like, that's literally all it is like, if you have some kind of outlet where you can vent, and you can talk to somebody and be like, hey, these are the things that bother me, and even if they don't understand why it bothers you, if they'll just sit there and listen, that's like the best interaction you can ever have with somebody. You end up feeling like the most happiest and most fulfilled, because somebody took the time to say, you know what, your life is valuable, and I will sit here and I will, you know, give 5 minutes out of my day or whatever to give you this tiny little piece of attention that will make all the difference for how you know, think for the whole rest of the day. Because like, there's been so many times where I've had like super shitty days at work. I come home, we record, and then you listen to the stupid shit that I talk about like this, and then I'm just like, wow, I feel so much better, you know. And then I'm like, wow, it's so funny that I let that whole day like bog me down and be shitty, when like I can have experiences like this and I feel so much better, you know. And it's like, it's really funny. There's a lot of actually like really interesting, I don't know how much you've ever really looked into it or not, but there's a lot of really interesting like Buddhist teachings where they talk about how you find God in other people because of the interaction that you have with people.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and I thought that was like a really, really cool way to like look at it. But it kind of like, it makes sense though, because like there's nothing like having that human connection with somebody that you can just sit down and talk with and just feel like loved and accepted. Like there is something really special about love, you know. And like every time I get to sit down and talk with my mom, I feel like this, because it's like, I know that I can say something like really stupid that I feel like anybody would just be like, what are you talking about? But my mom will understand me, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, even
I like your mom.
Yeah, no, she's like so cool. Like I love that she'll take the time to just be like, because she's listened to me talk about like video games and stuff that she doesn't fucking care about video games, but she cares about me. So like, even if it's not a subject matter that she's interested in, she knows that it excites me, so then she'll get excited about it because I'm excited about it, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, I'm like, that's true love right there. You know, that is unconditional love, is when somebody can bring something to you that you don't care about, and you'll actually just take the time to be like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I don't know. This is the shit I think about when I can't sleep at night.
Your mom's definitely a great person.
Yeah.
Like,
I love her.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we got to have her
I
on
definitely
an
adore her.
episode.
Yeah, you should do it again.
Yeah, next time she comes to visit, 100%. We'll make sure she comes on here.
Make her play House Party.
Oh my god, that actually would be really funny. She would be so uncomfortable, I'm sure.
She might actually hate me.
I mean, like,
why am I playing this?
Right.
Swish's idea.
Yeah. No, it's so funny.
It'll be my payback for all the shit she tags me on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, yeah. All the bad puns that you totally love.
Yeah.
And it's so funny too, because it's like you already have to deal with enough of it with me.
I know.
Like especially now that we're recording and everything, you know, because before it probably wasn't as bad, because you know, it just every once in a while.
haven't been as bad about it lately, actually.
No, that's true. I think I've
maybe
been thinking,
just this episode.
Yeah, I think I've been thinking like way too much about like the stuff, like the other stuff that I was just talking about now. Like I've just been thinking about that kind of like it's kind of one of those things that I was just like, I think whenever I started kind of getting into this, I was just like, I would think to myself, I was like, why do I do this? You know, like, why is it that whenever something happens that's a mild inconvenience, why do I get angry or whatever?
Oh, dude, you know what? Oh, I hate to cut you off,
Yeah.
but the shit you texted me Friday night almost threw my phone.
I already know. Yeah, I already know what you're talking about.
I legit almost threw my phone.
Are you talking about the Finnish thing?
Yeah.
Or the Finland thing? Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I mean, I know you work in news, so I was like, you know, maybe
You're
this
like,
is
oh
serious.
man, maybe
like,
there is some big issue happening
yeah.
over in Finland or whatever.
And then you fucking sent your, like, the next text. I was like, this motherfucker.
It was like the blind
my
archer
God.
thing.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was sitting in my hotel room just, like, pissed as shit for 5 minutes.
You're just like, motherfucker.
Like, oh, this fucking dick.
I love it. Oh.
Just ruined my night.
Yeah. So I guess, because I'll probably forget to post the screenshot. I sent Joe a text the other night, and I said, hey man, did you hear about all the stuff that's happening in Finland? And he goes, no, what's going on? I was like, yeah, they closed their borders. And he's like, oh, you serious? And I was like, yeah, now I guess nobody can cross the finish line. And then I think it was probably like 2 minutes that you just didn't say anything, and then you were just like, fuck you.
Yeah. That was my exact reply. Fuck you.
See, I think...
No, I'm actually looking at it now. I replied, I hate you so much.
Oh, that's okay. That's what it was. Yeah. It's so funny because I feel like anybody that like, you know, like watches, you know, for the like 3 people that watch our videos, which are probably like, our friend Chris, and then my mom probably sometimes. Like, I'm sure, like, anybody watching that probably thinks that, like, the whole, whenever I make a pun, that you're just like, oh, I hate you so much, it's just, like, a bit. But that's, like, legitimately how you feel whenever I send you a pun. You're just like...
Oh, all the time.
You're like, I want to punch you in the face. Like,
that's real life, man.
Yeah.
That's real hate and anger.
That is a real and raw emotion right there.
I mean, there are some things that we joke about and say or do on here that are like bits of like who we are on here.
Right.
But that is not one of them.
Yeah, no, that one's actually a legitimate thing.
There's legitimate hate.
I really like this boss. This boss fight is really well designed. I know, like, watching it is probably just like, whatever. But playing this boss fight, it feels really good. Just like front to back, it's really well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's, I would say this is like the 1/3 marker of the game, I guess. We're like a third of the way through.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is good, because considering that we had 5 episodes where I did literally nothing, that in 2 episodes we've been able to make up this much ground.
You didn't start back over when we picked this back up, did you? Or
no, I picked up from where we had left off. But we hadn't gotten very far at all, so it basically was starting over. Although I probably could have gotten to this point in like 4 episodes if we had actually started from the beginning. So I don't know. We're like 3 episodes behind now.
He's
I guess.
still alive?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So he's using this really interesting thing. It's kind of, we got to see like a little precursor bit. I didn't really talk anything about it, but when we went and there were those monks in that one little place, and some of them had like the centipedes coming out of them. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
So like the centipede things, there's like these waters, I guess, that can keep people alive, but they like corrupt the person, and then they get like that centipede that's like living inside of them, and that's actually what's alive, and it's just using their body as a host to keep like keeping them alive, I guess, and like keep bringing them back to life when they die or whatever. Yeah. So it's like really bad, but this guy, he's so determined to get the immortality of like the Lord, the guy that we're trying to protect, that he's actually used those waters and has like the thing living inside of him, just so that he can, no matter what, always make sure that he keeps surviving until he achieves his goal or whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So he's kind of like the opposite of you in that sense, where that's why he's like the main villain, I guess.
Gotcha.
Because it's been so long now, but that guy right there that we just fought was actually the same the same guy that we fought in the very, very beginning of the game, like the very first boss that cut off our arm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the same dude. So I thought it was kind of cool how they do that. Like you kind of keep running into him over and over. I think that's why I like the story of this game so much. They've just done a really good job. And it's a lot more like upfront than any of the other From Software games have been, because a lot of the other From Software games are stories very hidden and you have to go look for it yourself. But in this game, they kind of just present everything to you. And there are elements of the story that if you do really want to go digging, you can go find those. But
Yeah.
like the main just overarching story of it is a lot more well presented, and a lot easier to digest than any of the other games they've done before, I guess. I think
Kind
that
of
was
a
why I
fun
liked
game
it
to
so much.
watch.
Yeah, it's a really cool. Oh, okay, so here he's saying he wants to sever his immortality. He doesn't want to be immortal anymore. So we can either help him or we have to obey the code and just keep protecting him. So we have to tell him that we must protect him no matter what, because we have. So basically what he's saying is like our duty as a shinobi or whatever is to keep him alive, but he's saying he wants to sever his immortality, which means that he would have to die. So that's why we have to kind of make the decision of like, oh no, we can't do that because that's too far.
Let him die.
Yeah, but that's kind of, we make, eventually we'll kind of have that conversation where Sekiro does finally decide that he needs to do what the little lord thinks is right.
The little lord.
Yeah. he's our little lord. Oh, that's right, I gotta do this thing. So I was trying to. Oh yeah, so I was gonna go back to that conversation we were having earlier. The thing that I was talking about, I guess, like kind of what started me into like doing all this self-searching and like looking for all this stuff was basically me just, I was kind of like, man, why is it that whenever, X happens to me, I get frustrated, or whenever Y happens to me, I get upset, like whatever it was, I was just like, why do I do these things? And then I forget when it was, but at some point, I was just doing all this analyzing and everything, and then all of a sudden I was just like, why do we as humans do anything? And then I was just like, fuck, like, because to like really think about that,
Yeah.
You're just like, what is our motivation for doing anything in life? I think it's kind of like what we were, I know like you guys were playing, so it was like probably a little bit, your brain was kind of split a little bit between two things, but one of the things that Matt and I were kind of talking about,
I was trying to listen to motherfuckers trying to kill me, and you guys were going
Yeah,
on and
and I
on
were
about
just
some
having this,
intellectual conversation that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
I'm like, you motherfuckers, I could have heard that guy coming from behind me if you'd shut the fuck up.
Yeah, if you weren't screaming in my ear about religion.
Yeah.
But that was like,
Oh yeah, no.
that was one of the things that we were talking about with religion, is like, we were kind of just saying that it's like, basically at the core of what religion is about is it's like it's a story to help you cope with the inevitability of death, whether so whatever your religion is, whether you believe that nothing happens after we die, or everybody goes to hell or everybody goes to heaven, like whatever your belief is, that is your way of coping with, with you coming to terms with the fact that one day you're gonna die, and I think that's when to me that's when you like truly start to live as a person, when you realize that you're mortal,
Yeah.
because I don't think I ever, and it's scary, like the first time that somebody close to you dies, like that's like the scariest fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
And I hate that we don't talk about it, because I think like death is one of the,
Bro,
like,
we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, man.
oh no, yeah, no, I mean, I know you and I have actually talked about it a lot.
No, I know. But
But I'm just saying, like, I think like in our culture, I guess death is kind of looked on that it's like something that you're not really supposed to talk about, but it's like, it's important, like death is just as important as life, because it is the end of life, like it is the one thing that every single one of us, no matter what difference we have, that is the one thing we all share in common, is that one day all of us are going to die, and like I don't know. I wish that it was talked about in a way where it wasn't presented as scary, because it's actually a really, really beautiful thing. Because no matter what you believe, if you know, like I was saying, if you believe that nothing happens after we die, or that you get to go to heaven after you die, that is your heaven. You know, like everybody believes in a form of heaven. It's just how they think about it is different. But people go to war about differing opinions on what it is. You know, like people go to war over religions, and it's so funny, like, because it's such a silly thing to argue about. It's like, you know, if, at least in my opinion, it's like if somebody has something that they feel like that comforts them and that gets them through the day, because, you know, they can justify, you know, the things that they had to go through, because they know that either eventually all of this is going to be gone, or they've got a much better reward coming for them in the end. It's like, awesome. You have found, at least in my opinion, you have found a way to make it easier for you to get through, like, through your life on a day-to-day basis, and you will be happier for it. You know?
Yeah.
I think you get into a problem when you start getting the zealots that want to make everybody else believe what they believe, because it's like, it worked for me, so obviously it must work for you. It's like, no, that's not really how it works. Like, everybody's at a different point in their life, you know, in their journey. Oh my gosh.
Never been able to, oh, you just got fucked.
Yeah.
I've never been able to, like, buy into people that like, if you're one of those people that instantly wants to force your religion on me, like, we're just not gonna get along.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
that guy just fucked you up.
That spear guy is a monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's so funny, because I think now, I know, like, you and I had you probably even more so than me, because your mom was actually a pastor and everything, but I know that we had somewhat similar upbringings in the fact that, you know, we were kind of both raised and grew up in the church and that whole kind of thing. But it's really funny to me now, like, when I kind of went back and I was like, you know, looking, I was just like, I want to find out what the truth is, you know, like, I was like, I don't care what it is, I want to find the truth. But I think in the back of my head, I was like, I want to find the truth as long as it's not Christianity, you know, like that was my thing. But then, like, the more and more that I looked into it, I was just like, wow, there's a lot of really, really wise things that are said in the Bible that people really misinterpret. And, like, I don't know, at least for me personally, like, I think I'm at the point now where it's like, I truly believe that
there's a lot of really wise things said among, like, in other books of religion. Like, yeah, no, it's not just everywhere. The Bible. Like,
yeah.
Some really fucking smart people wrote that shit at one point.
Yeah, but I think, like, I just had this, like, very negative, like, stigma of, like, the Christian faith and everything, just because of...
There's also some real dumb shit that's written in there that people misinterpret.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, is, like, I think...
Dude, you were just fucking up monkeys now. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I think, like, there's like... I think there's a lot of good to be taken from, like, everything, with stuff like that. It's just, like, you gotta be careful with how the human interpretation of it is gonna be, because the human interpretation of it most of the time is probably going to be wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you need to really, at least in my opinion, I think you have to be, like, very, in a very, like, soul-searching mood to, like, really get what you're supposed to get out of these, you know, these ancient texts and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of things that, you know, that deal with religion in particular.
Absolutely.
It's like, I don't know, I think we all just need to be a little bit more willing to accept that everybody's going to have an opinion about something, and it's totally okay to have a different opinion. Like, and that's, to me, that's when you have, like, the smartest conversations, because, like, I think that's why you and I get along as well as we do, is because we do have a lot of different opinions about certain things, but we're not mad at each other when, you know, we'll pretend to be, like, we'll pretend to be mad sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? But we don't ever truly get angry at somebody, you know, at each other whenever we have a disagreement.
Very true.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're always, even if we do get mad, because there have been times where we have actually just not spoken because of you know, misunderstandings that either I didn't communicate enough, or, you know, or I assumed that you already felt a certain way or whatever. Because there's been plenty of times where that's happened, you know,
yeah,
between the two of us, but we're always willing to, like, in the end, we're always willing to forgive each other and forget about it.
Yeah.
You know? And to me, I'm like, that's what friendship is supposed to be. Like, it doesn't matter how different you are, like, you know, or how similar you are. It's like, as long as the two of you can forgive each other whenever, you know, whenever one wrongs the other, because that will always happen, as, you know.
Oh, you're never gonna have like a friendship where like you didn't accidentally fucking piss off your friend. And then,
Right. It's always gonna happen. Like, that's just,
Yeah.
you know, that's human nature. Even when we're trying, and the paradox of it is, a lot of times when you're trying your hardest not to hurt somebody, that's when you'll hurt somebody the most. You know.
Absolutely.
Like, so I think, like, I don't know, it kind of just keeps going back to, you know, what I was saying earlier with that one thing is, like, if you truly listen to somebody, like, that is like the deepest form of love that you can show for another human, is just truly listening to somebody. And those that you truly listen to will see that, and they'll want to continue to be around you. Like, it's, I don't know, it's like, once I kind of started thinking
It's a
about
really
stuff
cool outlook, man.
yeah,
I like it.
It's like, and it's cool because, like, then, you know, then there'll be like certain things that you say, like, oh well, like, I see this way, and I'm like, you know what, I've never thought about that before. That's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, is like, just kind of,
As long as you go into it with an open mind, and so does the other person, then yeah, you can have those conversations.
yeah. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people are scared to have that conversation, because it is kind of scary to have, you know, because eventually you will get to the point, if you keep going down that rabbit hole, you're going to have you're going to get to the point where somebody's going to say something that challenges something that you believe, you know. And so you're going to have to kind of you're going to have to make the decision for yourself of, like, okay, well, do I get angry at them for that because they have a different opinion than I do? Or do I just, like, accept that there's value in them feeling that way and seeing the world through that lens, you know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I really think you would like that Midnight Gospel show, man. It's, the stuff that they talk about is really cool. And the host, the thing that's really interesting to me is the host is a guy who has, like, he heavily experimented with drugs for a very long time, and so he has some really interesting outlooks on life.
Oh, those guys usually do.
Yeah, and it's really cool listening to him talk about things with doctors, you know, like actual medical doctors and stuff, and they're like, yeah, no, like, that is normal, you know. Like,
Yeah.
they sit there and they listen to him, like, explain things, you know, that he's kind of discovered about himself, you know, whether it be like a psychological thing or like an emotional thing or whatever, and they'll just be like, yeah, that is the normal human response, like, and then he's just like, wow, that's so cool. Like, he's like, that gives me so much value to realize that, you know, we're all on the same fucking journey, we're just in different points, you know. It's kind of cool to think about. Of course, then you start getting into, like, the, oh, come on, I hate grab attacks so much. Like, you can't block them, and they're really hard to dodge.
Bro, that dude's just ripping it into you.
Yeah, I think after we kill this guy, we'll call it episode 2, or,
If
well,
you kill this
I say
guy.
episode 2, the second episode of this recording session, because we're doing this one a little different than we normally do, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's fun, and it's very stimulating, I guess, for me to, like, have these kind of conversations, because then I just realized that it's like, wow, we are really all the same. Like, we just need to take the time to just shut up sometimes and just listen to each other.
We're all the same. Some are just stupider than the others.
Yeah, but I would argue that we all have the ability to be incredibly intelligent. It's just whether anybody has shown that, like, has shown an interest in us enough to make us show that interest in ourselves to want to learn, you know, if that makes sense. That's kind of the way that I think about it, because I try to have, like, a very positive outlook on that kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah.
And so that, I guess, for me, that's my way of coping with it and making myself feel better about the fact that sometimes there are some very close-minded and stupid people in this world, and my way of viewing it is just that they aren't in the same part of the journey that I'm on yet, you know. They're on that same journey, they're just not in the same chapter. And I think that's when you find people that you identify with, like, really identify with in this life, it's because, you know, we're all part of the same book, and we're just, you know, God fucking damn it.
Dude, he is just
Actually,
Oh.
I should just go here. I don't know why I've been doing this whole time. We'll do this boss and then call it an episode because this boss is super easy. So, do you like monkeys?
I do. Monkeys are cool.
Oh, okay. You might like this boss then. Um, gosh, I'm trying to. I don't know if. Well, no. I mean, I know that I've seen monkeys, but I've never like interacted with one. I guess. Like I've never been anywhere where there's actually just like monkeys that hang out. You know.
Yeah.
Because I've heard like stories of people who have like traveled to like India and stuff, and there's just monkeys everywhere. You know. They're just there, and I'm just like, that's so cool. Like I would, but it's funny. Like one of the people I remember hearing talk about it was saying that it's like they're fucking smart, dude. Like they can tell when you're like a tourist versus somebody who actually lives there, you know. And they'll mess with the people that are visiting. It's really funny. But oh look, it's my brother.
Give me 1 second, man.
Okay.
Gotta take a quick break.
Okay.
Hello?
So I already killed the first one. There's like an invisible monkey that hides right there.
Oh, nice.
But it is see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. So
What's the last guy?
I don't know. Be no evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the last one's just invisible for some reason. I don't really know why. There we go.
It's like fucking monkey in robes. Weird.
Yeah. I think they're just like I was saying, I think they're just kind of supposed to represent those different things.
Absolutely.
But they're kind of cool.
I'm kind of cool.
So this boss is kind of or that one in particular, the purple one. I guess he can't see very far. So he comes back to this room a lot. So what you can do is you open this door and it blows out all the candles, so it makes it super dark in here. So then next time he comes in here, he can't see you when you sneak up on him.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of like how they did that. It's puzzle bosses are weird in the Souls games, but this one actually I feel like they did a pretty good job with. All right, did I get him to go up the right way? Can't tell. I hope so.
Wait, I'm already lost.
Yeah, this boss is a weird. Oh, hey, come back. Oh, damn it.
What was that?
That was one of the other monkeys.
Oh.
Let's see. Okay, so he didn't go in there. I'm not sure where the purple one went. The orange one's up here. This might work. It might be too far away though. So I think. Oh wait, no, that's the green one that can't hear well. Never mind. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, so here we'll get him to run in there. So he's gonna. So this is the purple one. This is the one that doesn't see well. So if we get him to go in there, then I can fall off the edge and kill myself.
Oh, you can do that. That's the thing. Totally just watch that happen.
Yep. It was like when we were playing Call of Duty earlier, and I died, and then you guys were both just like, "What did you do?" And then I was just like, "Oh, I pulled a parry," and then you were like, "Oh, you fell, didn't you?"
Oh.
But yeah, so see, since it's dark, you can't see me. Hey, bud. You just get to walk right on up to him. Kind of.
You just killed a monkey, man.
Yeah.
Helpless monkey.
Poor little monkey. Gosh, that would be like, oh man, like, cause I've killed like insects and stuff like that before. I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess like I killed a mouse once, but it was like in a pest situation where it was, you know, it was like at my place of work, There was a
Yeah.
mouse there. And I was like,
Obviously
"Oh."
not wanted there and
Yeah.
causing
And it's not
damage
like,
and
and it was funny because it was like I did it and then I was like, oh, like I felt kind of bad about it afterwards, you know.
I mean, I've killed rats before. Well, no, I haven't killed rats. I've fed them to snakes.
Yeah. Where did the red boy go?
Red boy. Come, red boy.
Yeah, but I feel like something like a monkey, just because it's like, it's so human looking, I would have like a really hard time killing it.
They're so cute.
Yeah, they're not always very nice, but they're
No,
really,
they're not. But
yeah, they're really
they're
funny
adorable.
creatures though. Yeah, they are kind of cute. There's something kind of cute about a monkey. I don't know why, but it's probably honestly just like the human resemblance. There's like something in us that's just like, aw, and can like relate to him, you know?
Like, aw.
Yeah. I think that's why,
Is
like,
that him up there?
yeah, these little footsteps here, good markers. Hey. So I think that one doesn't hear very well, but he puts out, like, he rings the bell so that all the other monkeys hear if you're near.
Oh.
So you can kind of sneak up on him as long as he doesn't see you. So this unlocks another really big main character because we find somebody else who is immortal.
Oh.
But she's
Ooh,
also
woo.
good. Yeah. So they did
Now they're
kind
turned away.
yeah. Cuz I killed them all. They're all sad. I'm still not 100% sure if I really understand like what it all means in the story of it, but basically they have like she's like the Dragonborn, I think is what she's called, or like the Dragon Child or something like that. But there's
Me
like
too.
there's like the immortal dragon, I guess, like in that like lives in the land or whatever, and they're trying to make someone who could survive with the dragon's blood, I guess, and be
Gotcha.
immortal just like the dragon is, and they had to sacrifice hundreds of children to do so, but they eventually got it right and made her. So she's like the only surviving one of all of these attempts. So we need to get the mortal blade for our lord, because this is the only way that we can sever his immortality, is with this super cool looking sword. I really like this cutscene.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is a sexy sword.
Yeah. She's a super nice character though. I really like her.
Uh-oh.
So it's called the Mortal Blade because any who gaze upon it shall die. But since we have our the power of our little lord to stay immortal, even if we look at the blade, we'll still be alive. So that's when she realized that we've also got the curse of the dragon's heritage. Yeah. This sword like looks so cool though. Like when you actually get to use it in game, it has this like really cool like red and black like,
just don't look at it.
Right? Yeah. Let's see. I think yeah, here we go. We do get it. So I'll just do this real quick so you can see that. But check this out. I love how that looks. It's so cool.
Oh wow.
But well, cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this fun journey.
Listen to Perry rant.
And yeah, listening to me rant about fucking self-awareness and mindfulness and all that stupid, silly stuff that.
And just listening to people.
Yeah,
a lot of that going on.
Yeah, that's I think it's.
I fell asleep. I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to force ourselves to do it, but I do think it is something that we should all try to do more. Is just listen to each other.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Well, thanks everybody. and we'll see you in the next one.
Yay! Later, guys.
This game is hard.
So am I.
Ooh. I would like to share that experience with you.
Wait, what?
Huh?